Hi, welcome to Beyond 100. And you're thinking to yourself, what the hell is Beyond 100? So, this is about my journey in weight loss. I wanted to set up this group called Beyond 100. Beyond 100 is because over the last 8 months I've been working on losing weight. I started out at 442 pounds and I am now at 340 pounds. So I've lost 102 pounds, and this is kind of an evolutionary step for me creating this group. I have another group that I just have closed off to private invites and people that request access, and that's called My Fitness Diary. And I use that to post my progress on weight loss weekly. I also post different meals and different ideas on diet and calorie counting and so on. And I share that with some close Facebook friends. And you know how that is, right? You got 400 or 500 Facebook friends. How many of them are really close? Well, I've got about 52 members in that diary that are interested in supporting me and helping me on my journey. So kudos to my friends. I really appreciate their support. So I thought, how am I going to, go from the first 102 pounds here or the first 100 pounds and keep on with the motivational drive to do this and make myself accountable. And I thought, I don't know, you see a lot of posts on YouTube and so on of the people that have been through the journey. There may be some that are taking you along on the journey. That's kind of what I hope to do here. I want to talk about, okay, I personally, I have a goal to get down to 225 pounds. So at 340 right now, that means that in addition to the 102 I've already lost, I've got another 115 pounds to lose. And so I want to set this site up here to do two things. One is to be a motivation to me, to keep me busy and keep this whole thing in my head. And what better way than to do a video journal, which is essentially what this is going to be, and also help some people along the way, because I know I'm not the only one that struggles with this. I've struggled with weight problems all of my life, weight issues, self-image issues, things like that. And I know other people are in the same boat, and I know that they can use support as well. So I want this forum to be a sounding board. I want people to exchange ideas. Anybody is welcome to join the group. It's an open group. I do ask, and I've had this on my other group as well, I will not allow any kind of body shaming. So if you're touring through here and your idea of fun is to look at the fat people try to lose weight and feel good about yourself because you're doing it at the expense of others, then I really don't want your participation here. If there's any kind of body shaming coming from anybody, they will be removed from the group. This group is for support, for people that are supportive of those that struggle with their weight, and it's also a mutual support system so that we can talk to each other about things like our diet. And by that I don't mean the typical sense of the word diet. I mean, what is the lifestyle changes that you're going to do that now you're going to maintain for the rest of your life? Because the way that I look at what I'm doing, I've changed completely the kinds of foods that I eat, the caloric intake and everything, of course, to cause the weight loss. But then my strategy is, once I get to my goal weight, you have to be able to maintain it, and you have to be able to maintain it for life. And so my strategy will be, well, this is my lifestyle now when it comes to food and the way that I treat food. I prepare 99.9% of all of my own meals. Every once in a while I will go out to a restaurant and have a lunch or have a dinner, and then I will really go over the menu, and I will even plan it ahead of time to make sure I'm in the right kind of place where I can stay on the program that I'm doing. And you know, if I want to go out, and I love Mexican food, and you know, you're talking about refried beans and chips and salsa and tamales and corn tortillas and flour tortillas and sopapillas and burritos, and there's all sorts of opportunity in a Mexican diet to eat just a ton of carbohydrates. But you also have the opportunity to not do that as well. And you can give yourself some leniency. So like when I go out, I've got a favorite Mexican restaurant I go through to here in Albuquerque. It's called Sadie's restaurant. It's a great local Mexican restaurant, and my favorite dish that they have is carne adobada ribs. So they have a side plate. You don't have to get the beans and the rice and the potatoes and all of that with the ribs. You can just get the ribs alone. So I will do that, and I will have a salad. And frankly, they serve such a large portion that you eat half of that plate and you're satisfied. You've hit your caloric intake, probably a little bit above it, and then you've saved some ribs for your next lunch or your next dinner, or you share the plate with somebody. You share the plate with the table, right? You eat a third of it or a half of it, and then everybody else gets a rib. So anyway, those are just different ideas. When I go to Sadie's, I have chips and salsa. I love their chips and salsa. They're unlimited. Oh, well, I don't go unlimited anymore. I used to, right? You just sit there and you stuff your face. But I count how many chips I have. And then I put my number of chips into my PayPal, my FitnessPal calorie tracker. And oh my Lord, you know, you had 200 calories worth of chips. Well, you know what? It's not the end of the world, because I don't do that every day. But if I'm going to go to Sadie's and I'm going to have the ribs and I'm going to have a salad and I'm going to start off with some chips and salsa, I allow myself to do that. I go ahead and I record the weight. I'm a diabetic. If I plan for it, if it's not spur of the moment and I plan for it, I will even give myself a little bit of an extra dosage on the insulin that day, just because I know I'm going to go into an environment where I'm going to have more carbs, more processed carbs than I normally have. So those are some of the things that are going on in my head. This is the premiere video, and I wanted to put this up, experiment. I've got a webcam on my computer here. Looks like it's all working fine. Please ignore the background here because it's a mess, but it'll be cleaned up. And so welcome to Beyond 100. I am really glad that you're joining me here. Like I said, I've still got a journey beyond 100. I'm at 102 and I want to lose another 115 pounds. And so I'm figuring that's going to take at least a year. 2 pounds a week, 52 weeks, probably more than a year. And I'm perfectly happy with that. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Tortoise and the hare. So have a good day. Welcome to the inaugural video. I hope that you enjoy Beyond 100. I hope that I have a lot of people join me on the journey and decide to go on their own journey with me. Bye-bye.